Hello, this is the video for getting to know Slack if you use a phone that is not an iPhone. If you use an iPhone, there is another video for you. But if you don't use an iPhone, you are in the right place to learn how to get started and use Slack. Slack is a communication tool that we use between BSF leaders and for leadership to impart information to us. And without further ado, let's get started. First thing you want to do is go to the Play Store. That little icon you can see the arrow pointing at, it's got a triangle. That's where you download all your apps. And you're going to type in Slack and click download. It says open on mine, but there'll be a green button that says download. And when it's finished downloading, it'll say open. So click on open. And it'll have you put your email address in. And it will bring you to BSF Bremerton, as it says at the top. And this is your home screen. This is the main thing that you'll see when you log in to Slack. At the top you can see is unread DMs. DM is short for direct message. So that's a private conversation between myself and each of those three ladies. Those are conversations that I am having. I could start a conversation with that big purple plus button with anyone I wanted to. That's just who I happen to be talking to at the moment. There it says mentions. Those are places where somebody has mentioned my name. So you'll see how to do that in a moment, but occasionally you'll get referenced or talked about or mentioned, and it will come up in mentions so that you can keep track of people giving you a shout out or asking you a question or something of that nature. At the bottom is the most important thing is channels, and that's where you'll spend most of your time. You can see there's announcements, PPKD, there's general prayer. There's also a channel just for leaders, small group leaders. There's a channel just for children's leaders and any other small group that you might be a part of. Now if you click on one of those channels, you will see a screen like this. At the top it shows you what channel you're in. At this moment it's Leader Prayer, PPKD. And you can see people referencing and talking about prayer, asking for prayer, and such content as that. At the bottom where you see Message, Leader Prayer, PPKD, if you start typing in that section, it will automatically create a message that will add to this thread, as we call it, or add to this conversation under the content Leader Prayer. So it will only show up within this folder of Leader Prayer. That's the case for any of the channels that you open and then add a message. You can also click reply to any one of these people's comments and reply specifically to that message instead of to the whole thread. Now I can go back to the home screen by clicking that little arrow pointing to the left, and in this case I'm going to select direct message to Sarah Eck. Click on Sarah Eck. That brings up a screen that looks like this. It shows me my messages back and forth. It's like a text message. It's just you and her, and it's our private conversation. So this is our conversation so far, and I can add the bottom where it says hi Sarah Eck. I can write whatever I want there, and then click the little arrow, looks like a paper airplane button, for send. Now back to the home screen and a few last details. In the top right corner you see three little lines. If you click on that, it'll toggle between this and a different view, which is recent activity or sections. So if your view changes, that's likely the place to go and change it back, or you can play with the different views. At the very bottom you'll see home, DMs, which is direct messages, mentions, all the places where someone's mentioned you, search, where you can search all the content for something. If you remember seeing a message about something and then you can't find it again, try searching for it. And lastly, you. That opens up your profile. You can add a picture of yourself, which is advisable, so we can try to put names to faces as it's very difficult. Sometimes we remember the names but can't remember what face goes with it, or vice versa. So if you doesn't need to be a glamour shot, if you just snap a picture that just looks like you, that's all we need to help us figure out who's who, and it'll help you as well. You can set under the profile, you can change your personal information, make your name your nickname, change your picture, or set yourself to away or active. There's a little button there that allows you to tell people when you're not available. But most of the time we won't use those features. We mostly use the channels. And the last thing you need to know is when things are in bold, it means that you have not looked at that yet. There's new content that you have not seen. So as I click on some of those things and come back to the home screen, it won't be bold anymore because I will have seen the content under those folders or channels or direct messages, whatever it might be. Bold means it needs your attention. You need to look at that. You haven't seen it yet. I hope you found this helpful. This is Rochelle Graham. You can get in touch. If you have questions, you can ask me or Sarah Eck or Chris Merritt. Any of us would be happy to help if you need further help. But I hope this has gotten you started at least, and I hope to see you on Slack. Have a great day.